Today we are going to discuss a very important topic in tango, identity. Do you dance like everyone else, or do you have your own identity while dancing? Let's talk about this to better understand the subject and explore how a lack of identity impacts not only tango but also ballroom dancing in general. We'll dive into how this applies to tango and how you can improve your dance by creating a unique identity. Stay with me until the end to better understand this topic. Before we continue, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to this channel. Many people who watch my videos are not subscribed, and by subscribing, you'll always get notifications when new videos about tango are posted. Don't forget to leave a like and share this content with friends who also love tango. I'd also like to highlight one of my courses available on Hotmart, Connected Tango, which focuses on connecting with the floor in tango, one of the most essential and transformative techniques. This course dives deeply into how this connection can improve your balance, posture, and overall interpretation of the dance. If you want to elevate your tango and develop your unique style, be sure to check out the link in the description or the first pinned comment. Now let's discuss how tango was transmitted in the past and how this shaped the way people danced. In the early days of tango in Buenos Aires, the dance was transmitted organically and culturally. For example, an older sibling who attended milongas would learn to dance with others at these gatherings and later teach their younger siblings at home. This method of learning created dancers with unique styles since they were not taught in a systematic way. Each dancer developed a style that was entirely their own. Another way tango was transmitted was through groups of friends who practiced together. These groups would often gather in someone's house, or in the case of more modest communities, on street corners. Those who had more experience would share their knowledge with others. This collaborative, practice-based learning resulted in dancers who developed their own identities, shaped by personal experience and cultural context. People learned by dancing socially rather than through formal instruction. However, starting in the 1980s and 1990s, dance schools began to emerge. These schools systematized the teaching of dance, breaking it down into a series of steps. While this made tango more accessible to a larger audience, it also created a problem. Many people began dancing in a very similar way. Without the cultural and experiential context of earlier times, students learned to replicate steps rather than develop their own personal style. This standardization led to the loss of individuality in dancing. In the past, each dancer had unique movements and a personal interpretation of tango. Now the steps of a single teacher are passed on to large groups of students, and those students in turn teach others the same steps. The result is a multitude of dancers with little to no personal identity in their movements. This lack of uniqueness diminishes the emotional connection, sensitivity, and communication between partners. Tango becomes a mechanical repetition of steps rather than a personal expression of individuality. In tango, every dancer should have their own identity, a style that reflects who they are and how they feel the music. This is something I have always encouraged in my classes. Many of my students have been learning with me for over 10 years, and if you were to line up 5 or 10 couples from my classes, none of them would dance in the same way. My focus is on teaching technique and musicality, allowing each student to develop their own interpretation of the dance. I do not teach steps. Instead, I teach how to move across the dance floor while interpreting the music. This approach allows each dancer to create something truly unique. To achieve this, however, you need a teacher who can guide you in developing your technique and musicality, rather than just teaching you a series of steps to memorize. Learning countless steps can actually be counterproductive. When you attend a milonga and dance with someone who has not learned the same steps as you, the connection often fails. On the other hand, when your dance is rooted in musical interpretation, both partners listen to the music and express it uniquely, respecting one another. This creates a dance that is truly one of a kind. When I watch a couple repeating the same movements I have already seen in others, I quickly lose interest. What excites me in tango is seeing something new and unique, a dance that reflects the individuality of the dancers. Tango may have gained aesthetic beauty and widespread popularity over time, but it has lost something equally important: Identity. If you admire a particular dancer, do not try to copy their movements. Instead, study how they interpret the music and the techniques they use. Take inspiration from their approach to create your own style rather than mimicking theirs. Otherwise, you will lose your identity as a dancer. Identity in tango is rare and precious today. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, like, and share it with others who love tango. Together, let's deepen our understanding of social tango and preserve its roots. Thank you, and see you next time.